Alright, hey there, Prox Gaming Crew, this is Proxify here, and we are back for some more of the Yokai Wars 3 Let's Play. If you did miss out during the last one, well, we went and completed off with another one of those mystery quests. Now, this time it was featuring with Buck and Diana. Now, within that shed area where the Gates of Wisby is going to be, there is a special item that we have to go and collect, and there's 3 of them that we have to go and do, and unfortunately, we can't really go and do that just yet, so unfortunately, we're going to have to kind of leave that little sub-side quest out of the way with Diana, but we'll hopefully maybe head back to there a little bit later. But for right now, we got the main quest that we actually have to go and do right now at this point in time, and that is going to be snooping around here in the boat shop to look up for a certain parts of different pieces that we have to go and look for a raft that we have to go and do. And Buck will go and explain about that once we go and start heading back over to the secret base. Now, I have a funny feeling that, yeah, there is going to be a staff member that is going to be having to go and head all the way up over here, and I think we are going to get ourselves caught. And just like that, we're going to get ourselves caught, but I think we should be able to make a run for it. Yep, there we go, and just like that, we are out of there. Now, within this video for today, not only are we going to be just looking for different pieces of the raft, but we are going to have to battle with another yokai boss, and finally, it is going to be that time, because I thought originally before the Den of the Jinn, you know, that area that we were just doing with that mystery quest, I thought that that was going to be holding out on a actual yokai boss, but that is not going to be what the case is going to be. So unfortunately for right now, we're going to have to wait just a little bit longer into the episode, and then we can be able to go and tackle out with the said boss that's going to be here. Now, I won't really go into too much details about who this boss yokai is going to be, but I'll just kind of just give off the name of the actual yokai boss that we are going to have to go and fight with, and that is going to be known as Agent X / the Executor. Basically, this is going to be a 2-phase battle that we are going to be seeing. Now, I think later on, when we go and start racing off into some other different yokai bosses at some time, well, at some point, we are going to have to go and see probably what their type of 2 phases of things are going to be happening. Now, Hoaxy Coasty, we never really got to see any type of other phases that just happened. It was just a one single type of phase that happened with the other previous yokai boss that we just went and fought with. So that's all good, but this guy is going to be a little bit more of a challenge, because I know that when I was doing my post-recording, I almost instantly got myself with the game over, and I was very, very, very close, but one of my yokai actually managed to at least somewhat survive throughout the last part of that battle, so I'm very happy for that. But we'll jump on into there once I go and see what is happening with it later on down in this episode. But now we are here in Gloombell Forest. Now, there is a set of different things that we do have to go and look for. We have to look for certain fruit, and also as well looking for the different pieces. Now, there's like a rough splinter that we have to go and find, a sturdy log, and something else that we have to go and find for another piece, but it'll probably get shown up here. Now, here in Gloombell Forest, there is going to be different yokai that you can go and find within this area. So let's go and see what we got. So we got ourselves with Shellbritty, El Gusto, and Unbelievable Boy. So if you ever do want to go and search for Unbelievable Boy, and if you ever do want to go and start building up on some of the legendary yokais, because I believe Unbelievable Boy will actually have some sort of fusion evolution that you're going to probably be needing to at least be able to get a certain legendary yokai from there. Now, I'll probably be doing that, of course, at least getting one legendary yokai, because we're pretty much close to be able to get one over here pretty soon. I think both for Haley and also with Nate's story. So we'll try to do at least getting one special of those guys there later. So let's go and continue onwards with this foresty area. Now, this is where the C-Stick is going to normally come into play, I want to say, a little bit later throughout the Gloombell Forest. And we're going to kind of have to make sure that we look around with our surroundings, because that yokai boss that is around there, Agent X or / the Executor at some point, he will be kind of being a little bit like Super Manager in a way. But this time, it's going to be a little bit more in this type of perspective, and kind of, instead of it being more so in a bird's eye view, so you kind of actually have a little bit more of a harder advantage that's happening here. So here's Moshimo. He's one of these guys that will be will be happily able to give you a certain type of fruit that you do need. Now, I believe you can go and always talk back here to Moshimo, and if you ever do have any type of stadium or any other type of type of thing that will help him out with his stamina and whatnot, he can give you other set of other different items as well too in the process. So if there's ever a time where you may feel like you may want to go back to Moshimo and get some extra like EXP type of orbs or something from there, you can go ahead and do that. Now we got ourselves with, I think this is Etterfly, I think, or is this a different type of butterfly? I know that we've seen these type of butterflies before. I think we've seen them in their previous form, but not over here though. So Unbelievable Boy is already down and out. Now, if you guys already do remember, we do have El Sharkador, or I should say at this point in time with Scarvery at this point. He is going to be at like level 25. I did use the Holy EXP Orb, so we should at least have some bit of a little, I want to say at least somewhat of a good advantage within the actual boss battle that's going to happen here. So we do have this Sharkadonian Shout, so it seems like if I go and use the Shouting Power, I guess we can keep ourselves well, I guess somewhat in a nice good type of stat range, but unfortunately, if we do get ourselves a Spirited, it's not going to be as great as it should be. Okay, so let's go and do that one other time, and there we go, and all those yokais are already down and out as it is, so we can go and move off into a little bit more down the road here. Now, there's going to be a new feature that is going to be happening with Nate at some point, and I want to say maybe with Haley Ann later on as well, too. But we will hold that off there. I don't really want to go into too much of a detail on that just yet. But this is really weird. We got ourselves with Rocky Balboa. Yeah, great pun out there for that name. But again, just like how with Moshimo here, he's going to punch down to give us some green mangoes, so more fruit for us to go and use.
Get him, Brock.
Now, with the two videos that are going to be happening here, not only are we going to just be doing out here with just Yokai Watch 3 that is going to be happening, but we're also, of course, going to also be doing some more of what Twilight Princess is going to be happening as well. Now, Twilight Princess, within our way of what's happening for that episode is that we are going to start I think we are going to start making our way on over to where the Lake Bed Temple is finally going to be at. Now, I think we are going to be hopefully at least grabbing ourselves with the hook shot at some point. I think that could be the main item, or it could be the ball and chain. I don't think it is the ball and chain, because that would be more so of later on throughout the game, so it would have to be the hook shot. So that would be pretty nice. I can't wait until we get that hook shot in Lake Bed Temple, because now I've started to remember now, because I know that most of the places that we're going to have to find a heart piece is going to be recommended on using an actual hook shot for that place as well. Now, I'm not really too much of a big fan of that said area of the water temple. It's one of the most grueling and most frustrating ones compared to the Ocarina of Time area, but of course we have to go and get it done because we have to go and pick up with a few shadow, but it's alright. Now, I did go and check out with Kings and Queens of the Ring, and I have to say that PLE was actually really good in a way. I'm really happy that Gunther actually did win, but it was a really weird type of botch, because I think Randy did a move or something, and it looked like Randy went for the pin, and it seemed like he went and won in a way. But I think Triple H kind of like gave out like some sort of statement and said that all in all, it was a very close type of match, but they gave it to Gunther instead. So, you know what? I think that was originally supposed to happen, but you know what? They could have went and pulled it audible and actually gave it to Randy, and then that would have been really cool as well, too, to see if he can probably get himself to become the King of the Ring. But, all well says well. I think originally they were supposed to be playing out for Gunther anyways to make him become king, so it's all good. Now, I think on the women's side of things, I want to say that Nia Jax actually won. That was interesting as well. I thought the other person that was wrestling with Nia, I thought was going to probably win was Lyra Valkyria, but I know that would be a little bit too soon in a way, so of course they would probably have to go and pass that along to Nia Jax. So we got both with King and Queen from there. I think Liv actually did win the Women's World Championship, I want to say, from Becky Lynch, so that was like the beginning of the start of the actual PLE, so that was interesting enough. And there we go, got some with the Rough Splinter, and I think that should be, majority of all the items that we do need, and then all of a sudden we're going to be running into the Agent X guy that's going to be here. And there he is. Yeah, so this guy is always having some sort of some sort of like little catchphrase that he always has. There always has to be something with this big, huge EX type of cap locks type of lettering out here. Yeah, so anything that has anything with the EX in its word, he's gonna be having to say all that type of stuff here. And here we go, the Agent X battle is going to begin. Now, this battle can get really frustrating, because if you guys remember from, like, the Super Manager battle and the other battle before this, they weren't really all that too bad, right? Well, Agent X is going to be one of those type of battles that is going to be really, really, really hard for you if you want to make sure that you want to keep everything, like I want to say at least like laser focused for where you're going to be at, because like if you take like one single type of wrong move, this guy can completely destroy you in no time. He has like this one move that can basically like hit almost the whole entire area around you, so you have to be really careful with that. But after a little bit of some time, you know, at least we managed to get all the way through here. We didn't really lose out on any type of yokai at this point, but that will be happening when the second phase does go on here. Now, he does have this other type of ability where he will steal out a member out of your team and then kind of basically use it as somewhat of a type of, like, backup enemy or something for him, so there you go. So afterwards we went to defeat his normal human side type of form of his yokai there. He is going to go and turn himself into the executor that is going to be happening. Now this guy is actually a little bit more scary, because he does have explosive extensions here, and he will go and basically destroy out on a yokai, of course, and at least it knocked out on one. But not to worry, your yokai will get healed back up after this next phase that will show up here, because we got ourselves a little bit of a cutscene, and Jabonyon gets smacked across into the 3DS screen right there. Yeah, I don't think that was going to really work out in that type of favor there, Jabonyon. So now we got ourselves down with a brand new yokai watch. So this is something that I wanted to not really go into too much detail, but now we got it here. This is the Yokai Watch Dream. This is basically going to be something that we are going to have not only with just this Dream Watch here, but also with the Yokai Blaster, which I believe, if you guys don't know, there is a game that actually came out, I want to say a little bit later or maybe before this, known as Yokai Blasters. And that game is a very expensive game on the 3DS. I think it's a little bit even more costly than what Yokai Watch 3 is. But I want to say that Yokai Watch Blasters, I'm not really too familiar with it, but I guess this is what is going to be kind of dealing with here, is having this specialty type of yokai gun that's going to be here for the time being. Now, this could actually be somewhat a little bit annoying and a little bit tedious at first, but you'll probably know what to do later on from it. But basically how this is going to work is that you'll get into a little bit of a mini game, and basically you have like somewhat of like a Russian roulette type of wheel. It's kind of like Yokai Watch 1 in a way, where you kind of have to like kind of move around on exactly to figure out what type of yokai that you're going to use. But instead you're going to have to go and figure out what type of high or even low type of move that you're going to do. And it just kind of spins around a little bit, and if you can land on that actual said like high type of attack, it'll actually do a little bit more damage. So that should at least somewhat kind of help you out a little bit. Now, you will get yourself like with a little bit of like a target type area, and you have to like shoot the actual medallion that is floating around. At first, I didn't really know if you actually had to go and shoot at the medallion or basically shoot at the executor when it happens. But it seems like you actually have to shoot the medallion that is there with him, and then every time you can kind of wear him out with the different attacks here. And unfortunately, I'm not really all that too good with this. Again, this is my first time playing throughout Yokai Watch 3, so bear in mind when I'm trying to do this here. But yeah, I don't think we even got any type of good enough type of power from that Yokai Blaster. But it does have to recharge a little bit sometimes, so you kind of have to wait a little bit. Now, this guy does have like a locking mechanism on you, so even if you want to like try to at least move away from there, you can't really go and do it. It's just that you kind of have to just take in the hits and just basically just get yourself blasted pretty hard. And that's the reason why that I got a lot of my yokais completely destroyed, is because of this lock-on function that he has, because you can't really deke around it at all. So it looks like you kind of have to use more so of what's going on here with the blaster, because it seems like the blaster is your more useful friend out here. So maybe you don't really have to go and really worry about moving around with your yokais too much, but just keep on using the blaster for a little bit. And I think just like that, I think we're already when it finished, and the Executor is almost down here. Horjin is our last and final guy that is going on, and I'm trying to make sure that we make sure that he's going to get healed as best as we can so that he can stay afloat, so that we don't have to get ourselves our first of many game overs, because we have never really got like an actual main game over. I know that we ran into Super Manager, and I think from over here, I did get run on into with actual Agent X that he did spawn us, but those are not really set as game overs, so we are totally fine with that. But for right now, we're all good. And nice, and everybody got some really nice good levels from there.
Expire.
So now he is going to leave. We'll see you later, dude. We got a nice good win from that. So chapter 4 is almost done, but we'll have to wait until the next episode for that time to go on and happen from there. But since we are getting our way into the end of this episode, I just want to go and say is thank you guys so much for going and checking out for Yokai Wars 3. I'm happy to say that another Yokai boss has been destroyed. We went through the 2 different phases of that said Yokai boss there, and we could go and continue onwards for next time. So anyways, see you guys in the next one, and of course, peace.